lovelies, welcome to Tarot by Pabby. I'm really excited to have you here today. I'm going to do a yes or no reading for you today, and we've got 5 crystals to choose from for this pick a card reading. Now these tend to be a bit shorter, so I'm doing 5 today. So you have Garnet, Dalmation Jasper, Carnelian, Purple Agate and Hematite. With yes or no readings, I'm not just going to say yes and then move on to the next reading. There is a little bit more nuance to this. I'll also be pulling you some advice as well. I'm really excited to see you over at your reading, so check out your timestamps below and I will see you there. Hello Garnet group, thank you so much for clicking on this reading today. If you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and you'll be updated whenever I have a new reading for you. Today this is a yes or no reading, so make sure before you're watching this reading, pause the video and make sure you're clear on the question that you have for me. I'm going to be pulling a central card, which is the crux of the issue, and then I might pull some clarifiers to see what the problem is, and then I'm going to pull 2 cards for the yes side and 2 cards for the no side, and then hopefully be able to give you an answer. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so your middle card is the Knight of Pentacles. This is interesting. This makes me think your question is about maybe another person. This could be a love question. If you pick Garnet, that would make sense because Garnet is a stone of love. And then on the left-hand side, the cards are your yes cards and the right-hand side are your no cards. So let's check those out. So on the left-hand side, you have, for the yes, you have the Knight of Swords and you have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so things going in your favour that would indicate the answer to your question is a yes, is that you're acting with some haste and some speed. There's a sort of erratic energy about you for this question. So you might be doing something slightly hastily. You might be rushing into something. And then the 7 of Pentacles reversed, that indicates that you've been working on something. There's something that you've kind of built up, but you're not. You might be rejecting it, you might be a bit fed up of it, or you might be not seeing the fruits of your labour yet. So the yes side would be you're probably acting, if you are going to do this, if the answer to the question is yes, there's something to do with haste, so you're probably rushing into something a little bit and you're not appreciating what you already have. Let's have a look at the no side and that'll give me a little bit more information. The Page of Swords and the Devil. The Page of Swords is a kind of similar energy to the Knight of Swords, but it's much younger and it's slower. So the Page of Swords can be a little bit childish. So you might, the no for this, the reason, if you're sort of thinking the answer to this question would be no, it would be that you're kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face a little bit, especially with the Devil there. You are constrained by material things. There's some sort of element of temptation on the no side. There's some sort of element of this is a bit of a difficult one because you've got both the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords. But in this reading, I would say the answer probably should be yes. But I think there's some caution here. So the yes is is that you need to appreciate what you already have first. You need to get a bit more grounded and maybe work a little bit harder at something you're already doing. There's something you need to work harder on and appreciate a bit more materially. But there's also don't rush into this too quickly. Take a little bit of time before you action this yes. But I do think the cards indicate yes is a stronger option. The no is a sort of childish petulance. Maybe you'd be saying no to spite someone, and that's particularly clear in the Devil. And the no, it could be that there's this temptation and there's this level of, you feel really constrained by the world a bit. Maybe the no would be a sort of keeping you in your bubble and you want to break free. And that would make sense with the Knight of Swords there as well. Acting speedily, you need to make sure that you're not rushing things, but you have this real desire. Almost, I feel like you want to break out. The yes is kind of a breaking free. And the song from High School Musical just popped into my head. If anyone's singing that or had that too, this reading is definitely for you. Yes, what I am going to do, as I do in all my readings, is pull you a crystal card, which will be the advice. I may pull one or two depending on the question and the answers I get. But for this one, I think the answer is yes, but take it slow and be really thoughtful about it. Yes, so you have chrysoprase, which is allow yourself to receive. Yes, this is exactly that sort of slow down a bit. This, I feel like that whatever you're asking will come to you. It will get easier if you just wait a little bit and take a few deep breaths. And in that Knight of Pentacles, I know you feel a bit stuck, that there's no movement at all. And the Knight of Pentacles is the opposite from the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords, but allow yourself to receive. So this is, if it's the law of attraction, if it's something you've been dreaming about a lot, if you're starting a new thing, so it could be relationship, it could be romance, if you want something new, you do just have to wait a bit longer for that to manifest. And then the second card is heal your heart, and that makes a lot of sense with your no cards. So if there's some sort of temptation or hurt, or I say bondage in a kind of abstract way that you're thinking about, you're feeling very, very constrained, just like those characters in the Devil card. You're feeling restricted by maybe the world, by another person, and there's kind of temptation around this. You need to do some heart work. And it makes me feel like this question might have been a love question, because I feel like you want to rush into something new, like a new relationship, especially because you've got these knights and the pages. You want to rush into this new relationship when actually you've still got quite a lot of baggage that is dragging you down. So yes, I hope this brief reading was helpful. Let me know in the comments. I'll also say that this is just a reading for entertainment. You do not have to act on this. And if you act on this, it's completely within your own choice. There isn't any sort of divined answer. If I've said yes and it doesn't resonate with you, and what I've said doesn't fit, this reading isn't for you. You always have the choice. Remember that, Garnet group. Okay, I hope you have a really wonderful rest of the day, week and month, and I will see you soon. Hello Dalmation Jasper group, I'm really, really happy to have you here today. This is your yes or no reading. I'll be pulling a central card which kind of outlines the situation that you're asking about, and then I'll pull two cards on the left hand side which will be the cards for yes, and then two cards on the right hand side which will be the cards for no. I might pull a few more to clarify if I need it, and I will be pulling a crystal card for you as well. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. This makes me feel like the situation is about lack. You feel like you're lacking something in the material world, and it could be money, it could be a relationship, it could be something else, but there's definitely a sort of sense of lack in your question. Obviously, if there isn't, this may not be the pile for you, so go and pick another one, I'd say. But let's have a look at your yes cards. Okay, so you've got the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords came up in the last reading. So if anyone's come from the last reading to sort of, you might have just left the video playing. You might have intentionally be watching to see if you get a different answer. If you're doing that and you have already looked at the Garnet pile, this is the Dalmation Jasper pile. This is an even stronger yes for you. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is somebody who is emotionally in tune with their emotions. So this makes me think that this is quite an emotional decision, and you're acting on your emotions. And the Queen of Cups, she is not as grounded as the King of Cups. She can be quite over emotional in the wrong context. So I think what this is saying with the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is about speed. The Knight of Swords is about acting with haste, and you're maybe being a bit too hasty in this yes. And this, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're seeking out a tarot reading and you want a yes, particularly in a love reading, because that's a cups card, you will be there might be a sense of desperation in this yes. And what this yes is saying is you need to work on your emotional self and slow down. It's the same the slow down is the same message as the previous group. Like, you need to act with haste, but this is specifically about your emotions. You might be being a bit too emotional about this. Or it could be that it's feeling a sense of lack, and this is a really strong message to act with your emotions and to act quickly. That might resonate for you, because the Pentacles card is obviously a very grounded, materialistic, earthly card, whereas the Cups and the Swords are air and water, and they are the opposite of that grounded feeling. So this could be a message: yes, act from your intuition and your emotions, and act fast. It could be that, and it could be read, I think I'm reading for a few people here, it could be read the other way, that you need to slow down and not be so emotional if you are going to do the thing, or if the answer is yes for you. But let's have a look at what your no cards say. Okay, so you've got the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords came up in the last reading. So if anyone's come from the last reading to sort of, you might have just left the video playing, you might have intentionally be watching to see if you get a different answer. If you're doing that and you have already looked at the Garnet pile, this is the Dalmation Jasper pile, this is an even stronger yes for you. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is somebody who is emotionally in tune with their emotions. So this makes me think that this is quite an emotional decision, and you're acting on your emotions. And the Queen of Cups, she is not as grounded as the King of Cups. She can be quite over emotional in the wrong context. So I think what this is saying with the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is about speed. The Knight of Swords is about acting with haste, and you're maybe being a bit too hasty in this yes. And this, I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're seeking out a tarot reading and you want a yes, particularly in a love reading, because that's a Cups card, you will be there might be a sense of desperation in this yes. And what this yes is saying is, you need to work on your emotional self and slow down. It's the same the slow down is the same message as the previous group. Like, you need to act with haste, but this is specifically about your emotions. You might be being a bit too emotional about this. Or it could be that it's feeling a sense of lack, and this is a really strong message to act with your emotions and to act quickly. That might resonate for you, because the Pentacles card is obviously a very grounded, materialistic, earthly card, whereas the Cups and the Swords are air and water, and they are the opposite of that grounded feeling. So this could be a message: yes, act from your intuition and your emotions, and act fast. It could be that, and it could be read, I think I'm reading for a few people here, it could be read the other way, that you need to slow down and not be so emotional if you are going to do the thing, or if the answer is yes for you. But let's have a look at what your no cards say. Okay, so you've got the Nine of Wands, this makes sense, and the Hanged Man. Okay, so in this reading, I think your answer is very neutral, but probably leaning towards no. The Nine of Wands is the reason you might not do this is you've been through the wars, right? You are battle bruised, you have been through so much, then that might be stopping you moving forward. Or you could have been through so much and actually need a break. And because the Hanged Man is there, I think you need this break. And because it's a major arcana card in a yes or no question, I really think that the answer is probably not right now. You need to take a break, and you might feel like this break is forced. Like, you feel like this sort of no to this question, this no for now. It's not a finite no, it's a no for now. Just wait. You will gain so much from just waiting in your situation. And this is quite again, there's some similarities with the previous reading, but there's a sort of, don't act with haste because you're damaged, because you have baggage, because you're hurt. Please don't act in either way. Don't write something off, and don't rush into something because of your emotions, because you're hurt. There's almost two messages coming in here. There's a not right now, be the Hanged Man, reach that enlightenment, do that spiritual work. And it does feel spiritual, this side. And then you'll be able to quite quickly say yes to the thing or the question. Yeah, I think it's a kind of wait a bit message for you. Sorry, that's not the most helpful. I only give what I'm given. I'm not gonna I'm not going to reframe things so they're more positive, but yes, you're feeling a sense of lack, and that could be because you've been through a lot, and you just need a bit of a break. You're very close to a level of spiritual enlightenment that you haven't had before. If the answer's no, I think you'll gain a lot from that, and maybe you're rushing in and being a bit over emotional on the yes side. Now, I'm not going to say yes or no explicitly to you. You can make that decision based on the context, and I think if your intuition is saying, I need to do this, this is a yes. I feel like it's an action, but it might not be. If your intuition is saying, absolutely, this is a yes, I'm like, Pabby's wrong, Pabby, you're wrong, then you are right. Your intuition will override mine all the time, and that's how you should use tarot, and especially the general readings on YouTube, you should use them to prompt your own intuition and use them as a tool to connect with your intuition. All I can do is give you the messages that I've got, and this might be for lots of different people. So if I would say this is all about you healing in some sense spiritually, I'd say, and you're about to go through quite a transition, and I think part of this transition is in listening to your intuition, and I have this message quite strongly that you need to be the one to say yes or no to this. Okay, so I'm going to pull you a crystal card. Okay, so you have rhodochrosite, which is remember your worth, and that is exactly that message of that Six of Pentacles, is you're feeling a huge amount of lack, and you could be having a slight crisis of confidence, which is making you ask this question, but you need to revisit and remember how awesome you are. You need to remember just how kick-ass you are, and I think this Hanged Man is this energy of your enlightenment might be reconnecting with your own awesomeness, with your self-esteem, with your confidence, and then once you've got that confidence, you'll be able to say yes to this question and pursue it quickly, and you will become the Queen of Cups. You'll feel very emotionally happy, and sort of the thing you're asking about will feel right, but you think you need to go through this Hanged Man phase first. And I pulled you another card, which is Citrine, bring in the light, which is so Hanged Man. You really do need to go through this period of spiritual, I'm getting spiritual in my head massively, spiritual enlightenment. You need to bring in that spiritual light, which will help you on this journey you're on. Thank you so much, Dalmation Jasper group. That's all for today. Please subscribe, and you'll be notified when I have another video for you. I'm really loving doing these readings, and I'm so grateful that you are watching this today. I hope you have a wonderful day, month and year. Goodbye. Hello Carnelian group, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm really excited to do this yes or no reading for you, but I have a message for you already. And the quote is, although she be little, she be fierce. And it could be, although they be little, they be fierce. And I have no idea why that message is coming. I'm just relaying it back. This stone, if you picked it, is the smallest of the five, but is a very, very energetically strong stone. I hope you can feel that through the video, but it is it packs a punch, does Carnelian. So I hope that's meant for somebody who's watching this. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a quote that you love, or maybe it just really resonates with you. If so, you are in the right reading. I'm gonna pull some cards for you. I'm gonna pull a central card which will describe the situation, and then I'm gonna pull 2 cards on the left for yes and 2 cards on the right for no. And these will help me guide you towards a decision. And I said this in the previous groups that this is just entertainment. This is not, you must do this, okay? So please use your intuition. And if this doesn't fit, or if you have a really strong vibe for yes or no, please go with your intuition over mine. This is what the purpose of this is. It might be that things really don't fit for you and they cause you to go, oh no, but Pabby, the answer should be no, or the answer should be yes. That is the purpose of this reading, to get you connected with your own intuition. Okay, so let's see what the cards say. Okay, so your central card is the Hierophant reversed. So this is a major arcana card. So your question is quite a significant one, I feel, but this is about learning and institutions. So you could be asking, will I marry this person? You could be asking, should I do this educational course? You could be asking, it's something about, should I take this job? Should I keep this job? There's something about structures and institutions and organizations, and that could be religion, it could be love, it could be education, it could be corporations, but it's very much a kind of, it even could be people. So the Hierophant is a sort of mentor and a guide, but this is reversed, obviously, because this is a question. So you're not sure about this, some sort of institution, mentor, this person. If it's a love question, this person is very I don't want to say condescending, but like this person thinks they are mentoring. There's kind of a vibe of this person thinks they know more than you do in love, if it's a love question and you're asking about a specific person. Or you could be really doubting your own knowledge and learning, and you feel like you need to learn more. That's what I'm getting from your question. So let's have a look at your yes cards. Okay, so you've got the Queen of Swords and you have the Tower in reverse. So the Tower in reverse is either that something has happened in the past which has shaken you to your core, but you're still hanging on to it, or there is this, you're in the process of this happening, but you're kind of rejecting it. This change has happened and you're either in denial a bit. And then the Queen of Swords, she is a I was going to swear then. She's a real like kick bum person. You know what I was going to say. She's really, really fierce. She's a fierce queen, but she can be quite tough. She's not very emotional. She kind of cuts through rubbish that people are saying. And I feel like this is a sense of, you need to ask yourself why you're asking this question and why you want it to be yes. Are you still clinging on to something that wasn't good for you? And then with the learning, there is a kind of sense of, this queen is here to say, why do you want it to be yes when this thing happened? That's the overwhelming message I'm getting, that she's here saying, come on, stop asking this question. I don't know if you've looked at other yes or no tarot videos. I don't know if you're just maybe in your instinct is saying, I shouldn't even be asking the question. There's a real sense of that here, that she's coming in. She feels like a guide, actually. She feels like a spirit guide of yours, but she's a tough one. So whenever you kind of are being a bit ruminaty, or you're down on yourself, or you're maybe a bit depressed, this guide will come in, and she's that voice that comes in, and they will say things like, come on, pull yourself together, like come on. And we do get to a point in ruminating about things where we should be pulling ourselves together, and we can. This is not a depression card, because when you are mentally ill, you literally cannot pull yourself out of something. But this is a sign that you do have the capacity to do that, and she will help you. But this is, I would say this is a strong, why are you asking this question? Why do you want it to be yes? You really need to do that sort of inner work to figure that out. But let's see what the no cards say. I'm so intrigued by this message. Okay, yeah, you've got two reversals in the no pile. So you've got the Empress, she is like mothering, she's mother nature. She is the opposite of the Queen of Swords. She is just a really wonderful, beautiful energy, but she's reversed for you. So I would say that you are blocking some sort of maternal, emotional, comforting. Maybe you just need a really big hug, but you're kind of still fixated on this learning more, this structures, this organization, you're fixated on something. And the Empress is here to tell you, please listen to me. I just want to give you a hug. The answer's probably no, but here is I feel like the answer to your question is probably more likely no. But the Empress is here to say, I'm really sorry, come into my arms. Like, she is here to help you with why you've asked this question in the first place. And then you've got the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands, not upright, is about choice. It's about starting projects. It's choosing between two things, but this is reversed. So this is again like, I think you are blocking being able to choose something different, and there's a lot of blocked energy in these cards because you've got a lot of reversals. So I think, yeah, I want to give you a hug actually, because there's a reason you're asking this question, and there's that Tower there, and there's hurt and the Queen of Swords, but I think the answer probably you're leaning to more towards no, but you just don't want to admit it yet. Or you're leaning more towards yes and you don't want to admit it yet. There's a kind of, whichever one of these decisions is hardest for you to accept and you're still clinging on to something. I feel like this could be, for somebody out there, this is a breakup question, like, will we get back together? And the answer is probably, why do you want to get back together? Spirit does that. It's really frustrating, but they're sort of saying you could have choice. You could start anew. You could start on this new wonderful journey with this lovely Empress energy, but you're blocking it. And I'm not sure which way round that is for some of you, depending on how you ask the question. But that's the message you need to hear is kind of, why are you asking the question? Why do you want it to be yes or no? And you've got these, I feel like you've got two guides here, and you maybe have an animal spirit guide coming in as well. So if you have an animal that's significant for you, and whenever you see it, you go, oh wow, spirit, they're trying to communicate with you a lot, just to show you they're there and give you some comfort and give you some love, because this is quite a difficult question for you. But if you sort of lean into the mother nature feeling, it could even be a person, if you lean into this lovely motherly figure, you will be able to make these choices more easily, I think. This is not as explicit a yes or no as some of the others, but this is why are you asking this question? Are you okay, hun? Give me a hug. It's kind of the messages that I'm getting. But I'm going to pull a crystal card, and that will clarify the advice that they have for you. Talking about spirit guides, I just saw quite a big bird of prey fly over my house through the window. So if anybody's guides are big birds of prey, that just flew over. That might resonate with some of you. And if that does, this reading is definitely for you. Also, sorry, this is quite a difficult message to deliver. Giving you big hugs at this time if it's feeling a bit difficult to hear this. Okay, right, I'll pull you a crystal card as well. Yeah, so you have Hematite, ground yourself. It makes me go, were you drawn to the Hematite as well, which is the last group? You might have a message in there as well. This might help clarify things for you a bit more. But yeah, you need to ground yourself. You need to stop fixating on something in your head. There's a real sort of, you're so in your head about this, which is why you've ask this question. And this makes so much sense why I do this all the time, like when you instinctively know an answer to a question but you don't want to admit it, you seek external validation, you want someone else to give you the answer, but you need to ground yourself, you need to get back into yourself, and understand what it is, what you want the answer to be. This couldn't be more of a, you need to follow your own intuition. What are you doing looking for answers to this important question on YouTube? Which is quite funny when I'm doing YouTube readings. And then your second crystal card is clear quartz, so get crystal clear, and those are complete polar opposites. So hematite is a base chakra stone, so that's incredibly grounding. If you don't have any, put some in your pocket, because it just gives you a sense of stability. And I really like that. I carry it with me quite a lot. And then clear quartz is a crown chakra, so you've got both the base and the crown. And you need to get crystal clear. Yeah, you need to, exactly what I've been saying this whole reading, you need to figure out why you're asking the question in the first place. And once you kind of do that, I say inner work, I don't think this is spiritual. I think you've probably got people guiding you, but this is very, very human. This is very, you have to do quite a lot of psychological work, and maybe go and see a therapist or a counsellor, because talking to somebody who you've paid to listen to you is the best thing ever for sorting out your head. And I feel like you need to sort your head out with this. But once you do, there's a really strong message of you will be supported, and you might be supported by these structures of the Hierophant. You'll have that mothering feeling from the Empress, and then you're going to have this new start, this new choice, and it's all going to work out for you, but after you've done that psychological work, I think is the message for you, my loves. Okay, Carnelian group. And also, I've just remembered, although she be little, she be fierce, that is Queen of Swords. Have you ever met anybody who is so fierce they're intimidating and scary? That is the Queen of Swords. But it's also Carnelian as a stone too. It can be quite a pack the punch. So yeah, that relates to the stone you picked as well. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If it did resonate with you and you liked it, please subscribe so you're updated with when I have another video for you. I'm so grateful for all of my viewers and my subscribers. Thank you so much, and I'm giving you a big hug, Carnelian group. Hello, Purple Agate group. This is so strange, but I have such a strong vibe about you guys, and you feel so like I'm showing my age and that I am not cool, but I just feel you're really cool, and there's a real peacefulness about this stone and about you. So I'm not sure if you're trying to seek peace, and you might have picked this stone for that reason, but yeah, there's a real serenity in this group. Yeah, it feels really nice. It feels like we're kind of doing a group meditation. It's the opposite of the previous group, which is very nice. It's quite nice to have this come after the previous group, which was all sort of fire and heat. Okay, so I'm going to pull 5 cards for you today to answer your question. And I've said this to the previous group, though, that you still have to use your intuition. Yes or no, YouTube videos can guide you, but really it's all about your own intuition, and these videos act as a sort of prompt. So if I say something and you're like, but Pabby, no, it should be yes, it really should be yes, or it really should be no, you've got to follow your own intuition, and this is kind of a test of your own intuition. And sometimes we seek out answers to questions that we deep down know the answers to, and the cards have been quite cutthroat with some of these groups about like, why are you asking this question again, come on. So you might get something like that again, but just to sort of just talk about that at the beginning I think is really helpful. So I'm going to pull 1 card for in the centre, which is going to be the sort of describing the issue, and then I'm going to pull 2 cards to the left for yes, and then 2 cards to the right for no, and see what they say. Hey, you've got the King of Wands, which makes me think this is a love question. Immediately there is somebody has asked a love question, and I think it's about a specific person, or it's about who your soulmate is, because the King of Wands is such an attractive person. They are fiery, they're passionate, they're fun, but they're also quite stable because they've got that king energy. They're sort of almost, I mean, for me, this shows what my type is. They're kind of that dream man, someone who's fun but also takes care of you. So I feel like this could be a love question. If not, it could be that you are asking a question about maybe a boss who embodies this question, or a job, but there's sort of something about like this being the fantasy person, the fantasy job, the fantasy situation. There's something about a sort of energy of fun, passion, but grounded at the same time. And I hope that resonates with you. If this makes no sense, then this may not be the pile for you. But yeah, that sort of serene energy makes me think this could be a love reading. So if this is a love question and you asked about a specific person, this is absolutely for you, this reading. And I would say that my readings tend to be quite specific. So with some readers on YouTube, they are more general, whereas I do pick up on specific messages for specific people. So I'm really sorry if I do kind of go a completely different direction to what your question was. Please seek out another pile of mine, but also have a look at other readers, because you might find something that resonates with you better with them. Okay, let's have a look at your yes pile. Ooh, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, yep, and the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is automatically new love. So if in the yes answer, this is yes, you'll find this person will come into your life. But I think that you've got Queen of Pentacles in reversed, which shows that something about you is blocked. And there are some really good dating advice videos on YouTube. Now, don't get sucked into the rabbit hole that they make you spend thousands of pounds. That is a con. But the Queen of Pentacles reversed, they say that you need to become the person you want to attract. So if you want to attract this King of Wands, this person who is really fun and passionate and driven, but grounded and cares for you. You kind of have to embody all that yourself. But they're guiding you more towards the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is similar to the Empress. It's kind of a mother nature, a real motherly energy. So I feel like you need to connect more with your feminine side, your caring, motherly side. But also she's Pentacles. So you need to connect with your kind of inner entrepreneur. Like the Queen of Pentacles can manifest like a beast. She can make stuff happen. She's got her stuff together. You kind of need to become her and become the best version of yourself. And then this new love will come in. So I feel like the answer could be yes, based on these cards. If this is a love question. Equally, the Page of Cups is like it tends to be a new person. It tends to be a new emotional opportunity. So it's less likely to be work, but something new will come for you if you embody this Queen of Pentacles. And so there's a kind of yes, but do this to get this new thing. I'm also getting a completely different message for probably for someone else, which is saying that you will, yes, you're going, but it might not look the way you expect it to. So this Page of Cups is very much yes, but you might end up with an outcome that actually you didn't even expect. And part of that is the transition to becoming the Queen of Pentacles, completely separate from a love question. But yes, there's always that thing with the Page of Cups, I think, that they offer something new and it's wonderful and it's emotional and it's lovely, but it can be unexpected. It can look different from what you expect. And with this King of Wands energy, it could be that you want the King of Wands, but actually you're going to be offered the Page of Cups if you say yes, or the answer to the question is yes. You might not actually get the King of Wands, but you're going to be so happy and become the Queen of Pentacles because of this Page of Cups person, energy, opportunity. If you say yes, which is this is quite a strong vibe to yes for you guys. Let's have a look at the nose. Right, so the nose are the Ace of Wands in reverse. So the Ace of Wands is definitely newness. It's the start of a journey. It's a new opportunity, but it's blocked. So I feel like if you say no, you're not opening yourself up to new things. I feel like no. In this, if the answer to your question is no, then the kind of newness of the Page of Cups is not going to come in. You're not going to experience anything new, but you are going to progress to becoming the King of Cups. So this is a very neutral reading. I cannot say yes or no either way. They're both positive in both directions. The yeses are you will have to go through a bit of transformation. There is something new, maybe a new person for you that might not look the way that you expect. There's a new thing. Whereas if you say no, you're not going to get that newness, but you are going to do so much sort of internal emotional work to become a really grounded, emotional, lovely, connected figure. I said this in the previous reading that maybe therapy and counselling is helpful for people, but I almost feel like if you say no, if the answer to your question is no, you're going to be this sort of therapeutic mentor to others. Again, I can't, this is the strongest you have to decide the answer to this question, which is a bit disingenuous of me really, isn't it, to call a video yes or no. But I think either way, things are good for you. I think it's whether your intuition is seeking the newness or you're seeking that sort of emotional progression to become this King of Cups. I'm going to pull a crystal card for you and see what other advice there is, but I really don't have very many other messages apart from the sereneness of that I was feeling at the beginning of the reading is this Cups energy, but it's very much the King of Cups. So if you are absolutely looking for an answer, Pabby, you haven't given me an answer, then I'd probably say no, because that energy of the King of Cups was drawing me in at the very beginning before I even pulled the cards. So that's the stronger energy. But the Page of Cups is such a lovely newness. It's really positive. You could also read these cards as the court cards as people. I don't often like to do that. I think it can be quite prescriptive. But you could say that these are new people in your life. All of this is about other people. So if you think about the Page of Cups being a new person who's coming in, a new youthful person. The Queen of Pentacles is a woman who is hustling. She's not quite at the stage of reaping all the rewards yet, but she's a hustler, and they will help you if you want to say yes to this question. And then the King of Cups is this emotional support, really. So if you say no to this question, you've got this King of Cups who will help you. You can read it like that, but I find that often muddles the messages that I'm getting. So take what resonates and leave the rest. I'll pull a crystal card for you now. You have Amethyst. Trust your intuition. Yep. This is such a strong don't listen to Pabby. Don't listen to videos on YouTube. You know the answer, which I get with most of these yes or no readings, to be honest. But this is a very strong... I Pabby, cannot tell you yes or no. I can't even... I know I've tried to reach for an answer, but I just can't. This is all about you and all about your intuition. I'm going to pull another crystal card and see what that says as well. Yep, so you have Amazonite, loosen your grip, and it's really weird. I just put it down above the cards, and it's above the Ace of Wands. So I feel like you're clinging on to something too tight. You're clinging on to an answer too tight, maybe. You're not letting newness in. There's a newness that comes from saying no to this question that you either can't see or you're holding on too tightly to something else. So loosen your grip and trust your intuition, my loves. I feel really bad because I know this is going to annoy some people. They're like, oh gosh, can you not just give me a yes or no answer? And the answer is no, I can't. Sorry about that. But yeah, you've got to trust your intuition on this one, and no amount of YouTube tarot readings can override your intuition, my loves. And I said that at the beginning of this reading, so yeah, but I think either way, there is some positives to come out of it for you. Thank you so much, Purple Agate group. I'd really appreciate it if you've enjoyed this reading, if you could subscribe. It means a lot to me to hear from you all as well, so comments would be great. But yes, thank you again. I'm so grateful that you've watched this video today. I hope you have a wonderful day, week, rest of the year. Goodbye. Hello, Hematite group. We've got to you finally. I feel like someone's annoyed that they pick the last pile. Someone's really frustrated that they were always drawn to the last pile because it's the hardest to find. And this, I wonder if someone's watching it on a TV, because if you watch it on a TV, the timestamps are you can't see them, so you have to scroll. But there's somebody who's frustrated that they always pick the last pile, and I'm really sorry. I will rejig my crystals, and hopefully you'll be drawn to an earlier pile this time. Yes, this is a yes or no reading for you, and as I've said before, the answers aren't clearly yes or no. Sorry, it's a little bit disingenuous of me, but I'm going to pull a card in the centre, which is the issue, and then two cards in sort of to talk about what will happen if you say yes, and then two cards about what will happen if you say no. There've been some really interesting different answers so far, so I'm really excited to see what we get for you guys. Okay, let's pull these cards, shall we? Okay, so you have the Eight of Cups as your situation. Oh, hun. You're walking away from something, someone's walking away from you and it hurts. There's something about hurt in this question. Yeah, oh, big hugs. That's rough. I'm hoping I'll be able to find some answers for you guys. I can see why you're frustrated at the end now, because there's a real sadness in this card. That you didn't necessarily want to walk away, or this question might be about walking away from someone or something, or something has walked away from you. There also could be a sense of feeling emotionally alone, and not noticing everything you've gone through. There's sort of a sense of not looking at something, not looking at the right thing. Yeah, the moon. I'm really drawn to the moon. On this card, and I feel like there is some real sorrow here in this group, and this might be why you're asking the question, or you've been through something and you might not be aware that there's a basis of this sadness, but actually the root of your needing to ask this question, and the root of the question comes from this abandonment, this sadness, this hurt, this grief feeling. So let's see what the yes or no cards say for you. Okay, so wow, you've got the Hanged Man and the World for yes. Okay, so that yes could be quite a difficult, if you say yes to this question, it could be quite a difficult path. The Hanged Man often feels really constrained and they're forced and they can't do anything, but they reach an enlightenment. So the yes to this question is, it might be hard, but it will be positive. And with the World there too, if you say yes, I feel like it's finishing off the journey. I mean, the World is the most positive card in the deck, so it would be disingenuous of me if I said the answer, this points quite positively towards yes, but it might be a hard journey. You might have to go through some sort of spiritual path and enlightenment to get to the World, to get to this really joyous, celebratory, almost the end of a cycle card. I'm going to look at your nose too and we can compare. Okay, so your nose are the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands in reverse. This is very interesting. So I think you're being influenced by other people to say no. There's people in, there's some quite fiery, passionate people who are influencing your question and influencing the no to this. So the Knight of Wands is somebody who is really youthful, fun, fiery, kind of party animal vibe. And that could be if you say no to this question, you're actually going to have quite a lot of fun. If you say no, you're going to have this sort of party animal side. But then you do also have the King of Wands in reverse, and the King of Wands upright is kind of a fun but grounded, passionate energy. I always say that the King of Wands is like the ideal sort of partner. You want someone who's fun but supports you at the same time. But he's in reverse, so I feel like the no answer to this question might relate to like overindulging a little bit, partying too hard, and you're not going to be very grounded. You're going to just embody the passion. So you might be saying no, or if you say no, it's about following passion and hedonism, really. Like you might be partying too much, drinking too much. Like there's a sort of sense of too much fun and not enough groundedness and base, which is very interesting that you picked hematite, because hematite is a base chakra crystal. So maybe you're drawn to this crystal because you do actually need a bit more grounding. And I think the yes, there's something about the yes that's like, oh, it's tough. If the answer is yes to this question, it might be tough for you, but I think it will work out. Equally, sometimes we do need more fun in our lives. So if no resonates more strongly with you than yes, maybe you do just need to have a bit more fun. That maybe no is the right path for you. You actually need to be that sort of letting loose, partying side of you. And when I say partying, I don't literally mean partying always. I mean just kind of going with the flow and just doing what fills you with passion and pleasure. Like just kind of going with fun, leading with fun, and maybe that's where no would lead you to. This is quite a short one. I can't ignore the World on the yes side, so I am leaning more towards yes for your question. But if you say no, I feel like that might actually be an easier in the moment decision. It's easier to say no to this question maybe, because you can just have that fun and go with fun. Whereas yes is going to be a tougher journey of spiritual enlightenment for you. No, nothing else. That's it. It's very strange when this happens, when it's very clear cut, but that's it for now. I'm going to pull a couple of crystal cards and see what they say, so they will hopefully have some advice for you. Okay, so wow, you've got the Hanged Man and the World for yes. Okay, so that yes could be quite a difficult, if you say yes to this question, it could be quite a difficult path. The Hanged Man often feels really constrained and they're forced and they can't do anything, but they reach an enlightenment. So the yes to this question is, it might be hard, but it will be positive. And with the World there too, if you say yes, I feel like it's finishing off the journey. I mean, the World is the most positive card in the deck, So it would be disingenuous of me if I said the answer, this points quite positively towards yes, but it might be a hard journey. You might have to go through some sort of spiritual path and enlightenment to get to the worlds, to get to this really joyous, celebratory, almost the end of a cycle card. I'm going to look at your nose too and we can compare. Okay, so your nose are the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands in reverse. This is very interesting. So I think you're being influenced by other people to say no. There's people in, there's some quite fiery, passionate people who are influencing your question, and influencing the no to this. So the Knight of Wands is somebody who is really youthful, fun, fiery, kind of party animal vibe. And that could be if you say no to this question, you're actually going to have quite a lot of fun. If you say no, you're going to have this sort of party animal side. But then you do also have the King of Wands in reverse, and the King of Wands upright is kind of a fun but grounded, passionate energy. I always say that the King of Wands is like the ideal sort of partner. You want someone who's fun but supports you at the same time. But he's in reverse, so I feel like the no answer to this question might relate to like overindulging a little bit, partying too hard, and you're not going to be very grounded. You're going to just embody the passion. So you might be saying no, or if you say no, it's about following passion and hedonism, really. Like you might be partying too much, drinking too much. Like there's a sort of sense of too much fun and not enough groundedness and base, which is very interesting that you picked hematite, because hematite is a base chakra crystal. So maybe you're drawn to this crystal because you do actually need a bit more grounding. And I think the yes, there's something about the yes that's like, oh, it's tough. If the answer is yes to this question, it might be tough for you, but I think it will work out. Equally, sometimes we do need more fun in our lives. So if no resonates more strongly with you than yes, maybe you do just need to have a bit more fun. That maybe no is the right path for you. You actually need to be that sort of letting loose, partying side of you. And when I say partying, I don't literally mean partying always. I mean just kind of going with the flow and just doing what fills you with passion and pleasure. Like just kind of going with fun, leading with fun, and maybe that's where no would lead you to. This is quite a short one. I can't ignore the world on the yes side, so I am leaning more towards yes for your question. But if you say no, I feel like that might actually be an easier in the moment decision. It's easier to say no to this question, maybe, because you can just have that fun and go with fun. Whereas yes is going to be a tougher journey of spiritual enlightenment for you. No, nothing else. That's it. It's very strange when this happens, when it's very clear cut, but that's it for now. I'm going to pull a couple of crystal cards and see what they say, so they will hopefully have some advice for you.